Hey everybody, some of you, most of you know me as Sharon out there. I'm a hairstylist. I do weaves, hair extensions. That's all I do. I've been doing it for quite some time now. But today, that is not what I'm here to talk to you about. I'm not here to talk about makeup or weaves. Today, I'm here to tell my testimony. I'm here to talk about the man above, God Almighty, and how powerful He is and how real He is. I've been wanting to share this testimony for this is 2011 for about 2 years now, and I just honestly really haven't gotten around to it. This video is going to be kind of long, so sit back and listen, and hopefully I touch somebody's life today. Hopefully I change somebody's life, somebody's belief system. Hopefully I do that today in sharing my testimony. If I get up and stop abruptly, that's because my baby is asleep and she has waken up, so I have to go tend to her. But hopefully she lets me get this recorded and get it done before she decides to wake up. So I'm trying not to say as much. I'm saying it a lot, and I really hate when people do that in their videos, so I'm going to try my best not to say that. So about 2 years ago in 2009, I had just moved to my new location here in Ontario, California, from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and we had been here. Oh, wow! How long have we been living here? We had only been here for about a month. Yeah, I think we'd only been here about a month. I want to say we moved in June, and this happened sometime between July and August. Yeah, sometime around July, August. When I moved here, I made a huge change in my life. I accepted God into my life, and I changed a lot of things about myself. I left a lot of my old bad habits at the old place that I was doing, and I wanted to come here and I wanted to change things up and get to know God and have a closer relationship with Him. So I was doing a lot of reading the Word. I was doing a lot of I guess you could call affirmations. Every night I would light a white candle and I would read and I would pray and I would read the Bible and I would pray and I would do these affirmations. I was reading I believe at this time I was reading the book actually, yes, at this time a friend, she's like a sister to me, she's actually my baby's godmother. She had given me this book. I had already read The Secret. Some of you guys are familiar with that, and she had given me this book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. So I have been reading that and applying that to my daily life. And you can look that book up and find out what it's about and what it what it means and what it tells you. And it gives you a lot of affirmations in it to say. Anyhow, so I was reading that and doing that, and so it was in the middle of summer. It was hot, and I had fallen asleep one night. And of course I fell asleep. I went to bed, and I woke up at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I went to see this arm right here, this left hand. I went to lift my hand up, and I lifted it, and it boom, it fell back down. And I was like, okay, so I thought, oh, it must be kind of sleep or something. So I'm shaking it, and it wouldn't do nothing. I kept trying to lift it, and it kept falling. So I sat up, I turned the light on, and I kept trying to raise my arm up over my head, and it was like I couldn't do it. So I panicked. I'm thinking, because at the same time that I'm changing my life, I'm trying to change my eating habits. I'm a hefty girl, I'm sure, as you can see, kind of chubby on the big side. I'm still cute though, don't trip. And so I'm thinking, I'm trying to change my eating habits. I'm thinking, I'm 33 years old. At the time I was, I was 32 or 33. Am I having a stroke? The first thing came to my mind, am I having a stroke? So I jump up and I go in there to my husband. I'm like, babe, I can't move my arm. I was like, I couldn't move by this time, I don't think I could make a fist. I couldn't make a fist. He was like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry, babe. Quit tripping. I was like, no, you don't understand. My hand's not working. I can't move my fist. And he was telling me to calm down, that nothing was wrong, just to relax. So he was like, just give it an hour. He said, sometimes my hand does that. He said, your hand is asleep. I was like, no, my hand's not asleep. Something else is wrong. And so he said, give it an hour and see what happens. So I gave it an hour. And I was started to be able to move it just a little bit. And so I wasn't feeling right about this. So my best friend, she is a doctor of natural health and medicine. So, I'm thinking about her the whole time. And I'm like, I need to get on the phone with her and tell her what's going on. And, I think maybe 2 hours passed, hour and a half passed. And I was like, no, you need to take me to the ER. Something's wrong. This is what I'm telling my husband. And so we get up and we go to the ER. The whole time I'm dialing my friend. And I'm calling her and she's not answering the phone. My heart is pounding and palpitating. Anyway, we get to the hospital. I tell them what's going on. Excuse me if I pause for a minute. I'm not sure if that's my daughter. So I tell them what's going on, and I'm gonna try to not make this too quick because I don't want to leave out anything, but I don't want this to drag on too much. But so I get to the ER. They take me to the back, after sitting for a little while. I don't remember how long I said, so I get to the back, and I'm back there in the bed, and they're asking me these questions, what's going on, what is this? Okay, you guys, I'm back. That was my baby girl. I have a newborn, by the way. She'll be 3 months on Sunday the 17th, and she's still in sleep mode, so I just had to go get her, give her a bottle real quick, and get her situated. So anyway, where I was at, I think I was at, so they get me back there, and they're asking me a bunch of questions, and I'm telling them what's going on. So I'm there for a long time, and I hope that I'm remembering everything correctly, and that I'm not leaving anything out. They come back there and they ask me, what's going on, how am I feeling, and I don't remember if they did any scans on me that time, but the doctor or the nurse basically tells me, by this time, my hand had come back completely, and it had pretty much come back completely. I was able to use it. My hand is, mind you, again, this is my hand and my arm, my left hand, and I'm a right-hander, but this was my left hand. It was my whole arm that I was having, from my palm all the way up to my shoulder. I was having a problem with it. Just wasn't working right. So it was starting to come back, and I think while I had sat back there and waited on the nurse, and it came all the way back. And so what the nurse that came back there and told me, or the doctor, was that, you're suffering from peripheral nerve damage or something like that. He said it's where you fall asleep and the nerves go completely dead, but they eventually wake back up. So I'm like, okay, I'm fine. So I come home, and I think maybe a couple of days, I'm sorry if I'm leaving stuff out, I might be forgetting stuff. I want to try to tell you guys everything, but I come home and I seem fine, but then over the next couple of days I start to not be able to use my hand, not like I normally can. And like I said, I'm a hairstylist. I do hair, so I braid and I do weaves. You got to braid down the hair, the base, to do the weave. So if I remember correctly, I think what had happened was I was trying to do a weave and I couldn't braid. It was like my hand, it had just reverted back to where I couldn't use it. And I don't remember correctly, but I think I went back to the ER, and so this time they did a brain scan on me, and a CAT scan, I think that's what it's called, I forgot. And so, yeah, because I told them I had been there previously. And so I'm back, and I'm in the ER. I had been back. They did the CAT scan, and I'm back there, and I'm waiting for them to come back for the results. And they're asking me, have you been having this? Has this been going on? Have you been having headaches? Well, I have been having headaches. About 6 months prior to moving into my new place, I had woke up with this really, really bad, it felt like a horrible sinus headache. And it would only hurt on this side of my head. And I think before, after this episode, the first episode with my hand, before I went back to the hospital, I had that started having those headaches again when I moved in here. It had like maybe, I think they were happening more frequently. I mean, it was just like killing me, and I think that was one of the other reasons why I went back to the doctor. And so what they started telling me is that they saw a white mass. They were trying to explain to me that they saw a white mass on my brain, blah blah this, that, blah blah that, all this doctor talk, and I'm just like, what are you talking about? And so we're gonna keep you overnight. So they keep me, and they put me in a room, and they're running all these tests on me. And after them running all these tests on me, a doctor comes in, and he's like, okay, Miss Fleming, we're sorry to tell you. I'm looking at him like, what are you finna tell me? You sorry to tell me what? Ain't nothing wrong with me. It looks like that you have multiple sclerosis, MS. Yes, multiple sclerosis. I can't even begin to tell you exactly what multiple sclerosis is, because this is how non-fearful I was. This is how strong my belief was in God. I looked at them and I laughed. I was like, you don't know what? You don't know what you're talking about. I don't have no multiple sclerosis, multiple whatever. And I was like, I'm ready to go home. Y'all are tripping. Ain't nothing wrong with me. You guys is making stuff up. And they're trying to explain to me, what it does. And basically, I know it does something like it's a immune system defenses, something has something to do with your immune system, or the neurological system has something to do with your nerves. It affects your nerves, and it basically, I think it could paralyze you, and I know that you can eventually, it can kill you. I didn't find this out till way after. So anyway, they tell me this, and they're like, we want you to come back and try to see a specialist. You need to jump on top of this as soon as possible and start going to therapy and blah blah this. And I'm just like, no. And I look at my husband, and he's upset, and he walks out, because I think he knew a little bit more than I did. I was just like, he probably felt like, well, she's just in denial right now, and one thing about me, and one thing about, I'm not going to say, being a Christian, but one thing about being a believer and having a spiritual relationship with God is that you don't trust in what man says. You trust in God. God is my doctor, not man. So I was like, just because he got a white coat on and his badge around his neck and he got a degree, and I'm not saying anything against doctors. Please don't start posting comments about that or anything like that. But like I said, my belief is in God, not in man. And so anyway, I'm trying to just get onto it. I go home, and basically, my arm is still in the same condition, and I don't have any benefits at the time. My husband had been recently laid off, and I do what I do. I work full time. And as a hairstylist, that's my source of income. So I don't have no benefits. So we don't have no medical benefits to be going and see no neurological specialists, or anything like that. And so I take things into my own hand, and I'm just like, God, they're trying to tell me, and by the way, I have to have a spinal. I forgot, I'm leaving stuff out. Sorry if I'm going back and forth. I went and had a spinal tap, and they're telling me, after I had the spinal tap, because this was further testing to see if I actually did have MS, and they're like, yes, from the results we are seeing that, that you have that, and we need you to come back, and we want you to hold on one second, you guys. Okay. So we want you to come back and see a neurologist, but I don't have money for that. So what I'm gonna do? Come back and see him, and you guys gonna be billing me? I wasn't having that, and I wasn't accepting that. I had this MS. So I'm trying. I don't remember how the event, how it went, but I know that I had a client booked, and I had to do her hair, and I had to braid her down. And so she comes, and I'm trying to braid her down. I think I don't know if I had stopped working for maybe like a week or two.